Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a collective reading. I know that this is going to be somewhat different from the regular readings that I do for the signs, but today I just felt like this pull coming from the new moon in Libra that just because we're starting this new lunar cycle, and because there's so much going on out there in the collective unconscious, it's just like it's pulling on me to do this collective reading. And actually, it's been pulling on me for quite some time now, but I've always been a bit reluctant. I feel like just because I feel like there was something that Sen from Sen Tarot, most of you know her, um, she said to me how the signs of the zodiac, they act as like doorways, right? For all of you out there in the collective to find your entry point for the message to be delivered, right? In the most accurate way possible. And so I have been reluctant to do collective readings, but today this pull just grew to this point that I just had to sit down and surrender to it and just be the open channel to receive this message for the collective, for all, independently if you are a Libra sign, right? Because of the new moon in Libra today, it really doesn't matter, because after all of us in the collective, we have the 12 signs in our birth charts. So this is going to be a message, that has this mark of the new moon in Libra, and it's really beautiful because I feel like the message connects beautifully with this trait that is so beautiful in Libra, that is this search for balance, right? This peacefulness, this harmony, this equanimity, that I feel like it's, you know, perhaps the ultimate goal that all of us strive to achieve in this lifetime. So, yeah, this is going to be a collective reading for all of us. Um, and the difference, actually, I feel like the biggest difference for me, at least as a reader, is that instead of using my regular deck that I use for the signs, right? The each reading for each sign, that is this one, right? It's like you can see how worn out it is, because it's old, and it's like it's the first original one that I printed. So it's my just it's my lovely little deck that it's like just really really close to my heart. But so I didn't do this reading with this deck. Actually, I did it with the same deck in a sense, because it's the same thing. But I don't know if you've been here long enough to know about this story, but back in 2019, I printed 22 copies of this deck, right? With a guidebook that I wrote in Portuguese, and I sold the 22 copies for very special people here, in Brazil, and even internationally, but just very few. Yeah, anyways, that's another story. So when I printed this deck, I made one for myself, right? And because I have done the entire process by hand, right? I cut it and trimmed it, and I book bound every single guidebook. The entire process was entirely handmade. So there were 44 cards. Let me see if yeah, okay. So there were 44 cards that were blank. And so I drew on these 44 cards what could be seen as a new deck or a new oracle, because instead of being tarot, I called it like let's say the Astrological Oracle or something like that. It doesn't really have a name. It's just like my, I don't know, my studying of astrology through the cards that were, left over from that 22 printed copies, right? So I blended, this is turning into the biggest story ever, the longest story ever, but I'm going to cut it short. So I blend it all together in this big deck, right? You see the difference. This is just the tarot. This is the original one that I usually use. And this one is the newest version that I rarely use just because, I don't know, there's something about this one that pulls on me much frequently than this one. But this deck today was calling on me just because besides having the tarot cards, it has like the, these ones that are the astrological cards that are complementing the tarot cards, right? So for you all out there in the collective, I feel like this is going to become perhaps, let's see, who knows, maybe the next new moon, these cards, this deck will call again and will be asked to, perform like some sort of, or deliver some sort of collective reading also. But we'll see. I'm just feeling like, the purpose of this newest deck with the addition of the extra cards, right? The astrological cards, is meant for collective readings rather than for each astrological sign. I hope this makes sense. I know that I'm already like up to 7 minutes, so let's just jump into the reading, because I feel like it is connected to the new moon in Libra just because of the fact that we are talking about here in this reading about intimate relationships and about communication that is honest and open in very, very intimate relationships, because these two cards jumped out together being the opening cards for this reading today. And so the Two of Cups is obviously, bringing this message forward about there are closer bonds that are just stepping into the forefront, right? It's like the foreground, right? It's like there is something that is just being highlighted about a certain relationship that is significant to you or to all of us, right? Is about the closest connections, right? And how we communicate about them or with them or through them, right? So the Knight of Swords is all about honest communication. So an honest and open communication in close relationships, in intimate connections, right? So this is the theme of this reading today, of this collective reading for this new moon in Libra, which is very fitting, right? Because being an air sign, Libra is all about socializing. It's all about like communicating, but also communicating in partnership, right? Because it's all about us and the others, right? It's all about the collective, but especially like being in a partnership that is like this close bond, is this intimate relationship. Okay, so now I'm just rambling about this connection with the new moon in Libra, but I feel like this is something that has to be highlighted, right? Because it's really, really beautiful to see these two opening cards just emphasizing this fact, right? But the interesting thing also about this Knight of Swords is that the next card, being another knight, but the Knight of Pentacles, is all about when one person speaks, the other one listens, right? So this is the exchange, and this is how it's like in closer relationships, in more intimate connections, right? Perhaps there is such intimacy, there is such proximity and just knowingness, right, about the other person that we often just take for granted that they're going to listen, or that, you know, comprehension or mutual comprehension will occur. So this is talking about having this awareness, I want to say, between both of you, between like the two of you, right? If this is a connection of you and your partner, and you are the one becoming aware of this, it's like there is something about the time to speak and the time to listen, right? So it's almost like there is this speaking totem, or whatever it is, that gives the other, or give yourself, right, the right to speak, or the time to speak, right? And I feel like it starts with you, because it's like, because this Knight of Swords was the first one to appear, is like, this is addressing the viewer, this is addressing whoever is watching this video. So the one who is related to you, right, is coming next as the one who is listening to you, is the one who is paying close attention to what you're saying, right? So the first word, or the initiative to start this conversation, comes from you, right? You start speaking up about something that is important about the relationship, right? Because it is time to speak, right? And I feel like the other person is there. It's like, it's not like they are neglecting this conversation, or it's like they are there really, really, it's like they're not trying to fight anything, right? It's like they're just there listening. It's like there is this conversation that has its very balanced communication, right? It is a relationship where both parties know when to speak and when to listen, right? So the Judgment card coming next is like this, it's like this baton, or this object that whenever somebody has it, it's like that is the signal that gives you the timing of your speech, or it's like gives you the opportunity to respond, right? Or to, like, this is your time. It's like, this is your time to speak, and this is their time to listen. But it could be vice versa, right? I just feel like this is whoever it's watching right now, right? The one who speaks first. It's like you get this hammer, or this object, or this totem, whatever it is. It could be just symbolic, right? It doesn't have to be an actual object. But it's like the symbol for your time to speak and their time to listen, right? And the beautiful thing, now this is really, really beautiful. So if this is the relationship, right? Well, we already saw the Two of Cups, but if these are the two people involved, right? You possibly being this Knight of Swords, it's like when you own this position of being the one who speaks first, with this card that is the card for intuition. Actually, I want to show it closer because it's very, very beautiful. And so when I was designing these extra cards, right, the 44 cards, besides the astrology cards, right, with the planets and the signs and the houses and all of that, there were extra cards that I just felt guided to add symbols that were very potent for me, right? And so intuition is one that to me speaks louder than words, right? And this is exactly the type of conversation that I'm seeing here between both of you. It's like in this intimate conversation, in this intimate relationship, there is this understanding that when one speaks, the other listens, right? There is respect. It's interesting how this is evoking a lot of respect, but it's not demanding respect, right? It's just like this mutual respect for both, like from both parts, right? And so the type of communication is one that is reciprocal, right? It's almost like the conversation that happens through words, it's not necessarily just happening on this verbal level. It's also happening in this intuitive, internal, very sensitive level, right? And so this image here reminded me of, the sound waves. When whales send or emit those sound waves and they communicate through water, right? And they can reach so far, right? And they can, it's that type of, it's almost like telepathic communication, right? Maybe it's time to take this baton that is talking about this more intuitive level of communicating that goes beyond words. It starts with words, right? It's like that's very important. It starts with words, and possibly you being the one who speaks first, right? And because there is such attention, such consideration from your partner's side, that both of you have this mutual understanding that you are comprehending each other more than just is being said through words, right? It's like this far-reaching communication. And I want to say, the beautiful thing also about this very mysterious and intriguing collective reading is that it starts with perhaps like a one-on-one conversation, like a very, very reserved and sacred, very intimate conversation, right? But, a heart-to-heart, right, conversation. But I feel like whatever you and your partner are understanding and finding more about this connection that is going beyond just the spoken word, right? Is going through sound waves, right? It's like it can reach others. This is the interesting thing. It's like the more this conversation is more than just words and becomes like this exercise in telepathy, or in like exchanging intuitive nudges and perceptions, right? It's like it's going to reach farther than just the two of you. It's like if this was just between you and a significant other, it feels like there is somebody else that is picking up on this signal, right? And I feel like because we have another night, it's the Knight of Wands. So it feels like it's like the mutual respect between you and another is like the relationship is very clear between the two of you, right? It's like there is this mutual respect that allows you both to listen and speak in the same proportion, right? In the same balanced way. So there isn't like this imbalance in terms of communication. But I feel like that is something that you, if you are watching this and this is resonating with you, this is making sense to you, it's like you are developing such a strong intuition, right, in regards to this close partner, that I feel like there is somebody out there that is picking up on that extreme sensitive connection, right, between you and another, and is having this rippling effect that is like just igniting curiosity in somebody, right, that perhaps wants to have this type of relationship or have this type of communication with somebody. It doesn't have to be like, a romantic partner. It could be a sister or brother, whatever, right? So I feel like what is going on here is that what is happening, that perhaps you feel like it's a very enclosed conversation, like a very safe, protected conversation, right? That is happening, in a closed room, just the two of you. But the rippling effects of it in terms of energy, in terms of the etheric quality of it, right, is reaching others that want to take the same steps that both of you are taking. It's like it feels like if you have reached a beautiful relationship, right? Or a point in your relationship that feels like everything is balanced, right? That the communication is flowing very naturally, and there is like just this intuitive knowing of when it's time to speak, when it's time to listen, right? There is somebody out there that is in their initial steps. It's like they it's like they are they are still too bound to earth, right? But their curious mind, their perhaps ambition to find this or to follow what their intuitive senses are nudging them to, pick up on these ripple effects. It's like they want to take the same steps that you are taking. And I don't know if you know this person or not. I feel like it's perhaps you don't know who they are, right? But it's like, maybe just the way that you are communicating with your partner, perhaps in public, or perhaps, in, in the subway, and you feel like this is just an intimate conversation, but, there's somebody that is not necessarily sneaking up on the conversation, but just, picking up because they're close to you, right? It's like there's somebody out there that is interested in learning how beautifully you conduct this conversation, right? You and your partner, and they want to do so as well. It's like they want to take the same steps, right? With the Two of Pentacles leading to the King of Wands. So this is the interesting thing, because I feel like whatever it is that's going on with you and your partner in this intimate conversation, that feels like it's a very balanced exchange, right? It feels like it has like this power to reach further than you think, right? It's not just creating this peaceful and harmonious relationship between you and another. It is inspiring others around you, or perhaps, just one other that is near you or is picking up on that. Perhaps they are a very sensitive soul too, right? And they are already searching for a way to ignite this type of beautiful communication, perhaps with somebody that they know, right? Somebody that they are connected, right? Perhaps a parent, perhaps a boss. So for them, it's a different relationship than yours, right? So this is the reason why I'm saying perhaps you have no clue that this is going on for another person, right? It's like you are just having this very intimate, close conversation with somebody that you love, and you feel like nobody's paying attention, because why would they, right? It's nothing really important. It's just like the beauty of the relationship itself that is having this beautiful, it's like it's like a rippling effect, but the word came through and it went away. What was it? Oh, I can't think of it. It's gone. Okay, anyways. So this is inspiring, okay? If you are having this beautiful moment with your partner and there is this flow in this conversation that is working, I feel like there is somebody out there that is paying attention, and it's like they want to follow your footsteps, right? In terms of having the same reciprocity or the same understanding or the same level of, deep listening, right? And honest conversation that you two have, that you two are demonstrating, perhaps, thinking that you are, not being seen or not being, it's like you're not doing this for somebody out there to pick up on it or to, that's not the purpose of it. It's like you're just having this conversation with your partner, and somebody out there is just like amazed by it, and it's like it's inspiring for them. It's like they are just it's like a good influence, right? A good inspiration for them. And so whether you know them or not, it really doesn't matter. I feel like saying that you are being like a good influence, a good impact, in regards to how you deal with your partner, whether it is, personally or, you know, in an intimate environment, whether it is like in public, it's like it's being seen, if not like in a very visible kind of way, at least in a very energetic expression, right? It's like the sound waves are having this rippling effect, and that is so, so beautiful. So I just feel like this is a very inspiring reading. It's like, it feels like, you know, it's like this wave of love and wave of honesty. It's like there is this beautiful balance that you have reached, and that even if you are unaware of it, it's like maybe this reading is for that, right? Maybe you are completely unaware that you are inspiring others with you just being who you are with your partner, and them being who they are with you, right? And this beautiful sync that it's just so inspiring. And yeah, and it's like it's having like a very, very huge impact on somebody out there, right? So anyways, I just feel inspired by that, right? Just saying that out loud, and it's gorgeous. um but you know what, I feel like I'm going to pull more cards, just because I want to see where this is going to lead, or what is there else to come after all of this beauty that I just talked about. So yeah, if you want to join me in the extended reading, I am going to pull more cards from this, you know, giant deck. And I'm going to pull from the astrological runes as well. So if you want to join me in the extended, I'll be very happy to see you there. And you can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.